Live from the BDN Studios, it's Bang and Dang.
That's awesome.
If you don't like that, then
You ain't black.
Welcome back to Outlaws and Gunslingers, the most entertaining, the most
electrifying.
the most accurate, the most.
Well,
I'm gonna discredit us right off the bat.
no, our information is accurate.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
yeah, right. The most accurate, the most entertaining, the most, the most true to I guess the average man podcast of any Outlaws Gunslingers that you're gonna find on the intro webs today.
And if you notice, the past couple episodes, we cleaned it up a bit for you.
Yeah, as of this episode, I'm pretty sure we're running on
3 or 4.
at least 3, maybe even 4 F-bomb free episodes. So
F-bomb free.
there's another milestone for us.
And we didn't even pick up on the other swear words to make up for it.
We really didn't. There's a couple shits and dams and whores thrown in there, but
Right.
I mean,
Them ain't swear words.
I mean, you gotta have those in a.
Them
in
ain't
a-
swear words.
Those words at least got to be in a podcast about outlaws and gunslingers, right?
All those words are allowed on
They're- all
child-friendly
those words-
programming.
I was saying all those words are allowed on cable television. So
Sometimes you can say bitch. I think you can say it a couple times, though. They allow it.
you can even save the F word.
They believe not on TV.
Yeah, cable.
Well, yeah, cable.
Paramount's on cable, and they were F-bombing it up, and
Yeah.
the whatchamacallit? What is that series?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, right?
And showing nudity.
Nudity, all that stuff. Yeah,
Showing
so
boobies and booties.
the two best bees. that big old booty just going boom, boom, boom. Yes, like I said, the most entertaining and most real, down to earth, average man look.
Uncensored, uncut, and unfiltered.
No, well, don't stop it. No, the best look for an average person.
I mean, we just hope you guys are having fun in
that
your
you
lives.
can get. Ain't no boring. John Dillinger.
1934.
We're just talking about it. We're just talking about it. We do it. We talk about it. We do it. That's an earliest reference to our old show we used to do. But
Right.
yes, Outlaws and Gunslingers. This one last week, you're fresh off of Frank Jelly Boy, Jelly Bean Nash.
Right. And a lot of the information we're learning along with you, buds.
Exactly. Well, this one's going to be, like we said, a kind of a two-parter. They're separate guys. This one's Harvey Bailey. Next week, we're going to have
I miss names like that.
Wilbur Underhill Jr.
Exactly. There's just 2 names I miss. Wilbur and Harvey.
Wilbur Underhill Jr.
You didn't give him that. Okay, I put
will
Wilbur
be
there.
next week's, but
But Wilbert's cool, too.
at some point in time, those two formed a gang called the Bailey Underhill Gang for a little stretch of both of their lives.
Right.
But they have so much that they've done apart that they obviously couldn't be just one episode. Just their 3 months, I think it was 6 months they were actually in a gang together. So, but they did some notorious shit when they were together. So
People should start naming their children Harvey and Wilbur from now on.
Harvey, I'm gonna guess that's very down on the list of popular baby names in the year 2021 for males. I bet you in like
It probably wasn't even probably in the 80s. There's a lot of Harveys, right? 70s and 80s. Harvey. And we'll see where Harvey and Wilbur's at. Not even on the list.
bet you're not even on the list. 100 most popular baby names of 2021.
All right, Aiden Aiken.
Oh, Ezra. I already see.
Ezra.
Number 1 is Oliver
Oliver, huh?
for males.
And Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Wow.
What? In 2021?
Charlotte Flair, man. She's
I guess so. Gender neutral, though.
Willow,
If you want
obviously.
Gender neutral.
Hey,
you got
there's your
Willow.
Ezra.
Ezra, right. That's what I just said.
Declan.
Declan.
What? Oh, Declan.
No, it's Declan.
Declan.
Declan, number 2 for male. Theodore.
Hey.
Like early 1900s.
We got some teddies going on.
Jasper. That's not a
Jasper's a
Silas. Dude, what are we going back in time now? Silas?
Liam.
Asher?
Yeah.
Finn? Yeah.
Finn.
Owen?
Asher and Finn sound like dog names.
Ethan?
Ethan's always been there.
Charlotte, Aurora, Violet, Hazel, Luna, Amelia, Aria,
Yeah, they got some weird names.
Ava, Scarlett, and Isla.
Wow.
Gender neutral if that's your thing. Willow, Ezra, Rowan, James. What? We'll disregard that one. Quinn, Logan, Kai. That's like a
Right.
bird's name. I would name my blue parakeet Kai.
Yeah.
River, Avery, Luca. Luca's definitely a boy's name, sorry.
If I had a fish, I would name him River. I'd be like, you guys want to check out my river fish?
Ezra is traditionally a Hebrew boy's name.
Yeah, Ezra
but it's
guy's
growing
name.
in popularity for girls because of the A ending. I mean, A endings, that's a Spanish thing, though.
Right.
Well, folks, this Outlaws and Gunslingers episode was brought to you by Most Popular Baby Names. But
You'll all be getting a 20 cent discount off a can of Gerber baby food.
No, we ain't good enough for Gerber.
No, can't get Gerber.
What's the off brand?
Silicon, or what is it called?
I don't know.
Silac.
No, that's formula.
Same thing.
Celiac or something like that.
Similac, whatever.
Similac is formula. Gerber's is baby food.
Right. All right. You get a dollar store pack of diapers.
You get the off-brand. You get the off-brand baby food, whatever the store is, Kroger or some shit.
What, Best Choice or something like that. I'll take it.
Great value or something, you know.
Right.
Well, this one's all about
Great value, quality.
Great value,
Questionable quality.
Right.
That's their slogan.
That's their slogan. Great value, questionable quality.
Or just quality. And somebody goes, whatever.
It'll do. Quality.
Only buy the sweet stuff.
Quality. It'll do.
Yeah, only buy the sweet stuff. Don't buy the peas and all that, because that's going to be some terrible stuff.
Outlaws and Gunslingers, Harvey Bailey is this episode. John Harvey Bailey was one of the most successful bank robbers of the Depression era, and his career spanned 13 years and several states.
In several states, huh?
Mm-hmm. Bailey actually stole more in his lifetime than John Dillinger, but is less well known to the people in this world.
He's less known.
Mm-hmm. He was born in West Virginia on August 23rd, 1887. He grew up on a farm in Sullivan County, Missouri. These guys just traveling. These guys were travelers, dude. That's what all they did. Don't worry about it because it's not supposed to be there. That's why I skipped it. That's all I did. It was travel, apparently, right?
In several states, yeah, he was just on the move, right?
Right. He grew up in Sullivan County, Missouri, and worked as a fireman on the railroad before joining the Army during World War I. Look at all these Army guys. After the war, he settled in Chicago, where several of his Army buddies lived. Those friends were into some highly illegal endeavors.
As they all
soon
were.
were enticing him into the fold.
Does this word entice again?
Frank Nash gets enticed across the border with a fake pop-up bank facade, and then this guy's enticed into crime. I wonder what they did. They got some money in from him. Like,
right.
This is what we got.
Hey, you see these speakers? They're yours.
What are speakers? What are speakers? It's 1920.
Doesn't matter. They fell off a truck. What?
I don't think I can take these.
Just think to yourself, you're never going to steal again.
This is the last time.
Right. At this time, it was the early day of Prohibition. Former soldiers were in great demand to provide muscle to the underworld gang known as the Chicago Outfit.
Okay, so he's got ties to the old Chicago Outfit and the old man himself.
Right, got to make money. That's how I can do it. Mm-hmm. Led by John Torrio and up-and-coming Al Capone. So you got Capone and Torrio, Torrio.
It's Torrio, man.
Torrio.
Spell everything.
Yeah, you never know what it could be. Clearly
Torrio.
It could be Torrio.
We've covered Al Capone and the whole episode. It's Torrio.
However you want to say it.
Torrio.
You could say Capone like Capone or Capone.
It's not however you want to say it because people's names are their names. What if somebody called you Dong?
They may not know how to pronounce my name.
What if somebody called you Dung?
Well, I mean, how'd you do that? There's no you.
Hey, man, stuff happens. You don't know.
Bailey decided to join them and was soon knee-deep in the liquor smuggling business. Okay. Yeah, Capone and Torrio, they're just running stuff out.
They're thigh-deep. If he's knee-deep, they're waist-deep.
Right. They didn't ask you to help them for no reason.
Right.
We might have work for you. No, dude,
we definitely have some freaking work for you.
We had a lot of work. He was driving fast cars, loaded down with whiskey from Canada to Chicago.
Good for him.
So this dude's on the run.
Apparently nothing known about his early life, though, huh? No brothers, no sisters, no daddy's name, no mama's name about old Harvey Bailey. These guys are secretive. Well, Bailey robbed his first bank in 1920, and in December of 1922 was believed to have robbed the Denver Mint. Oh, jeez. Of $200,000. That's a federal crime.
Federal.
Don't do that. That's 5 to 10. Altogether, he robbed some 20 banks. He meticulously planned his bank jobs, obtaining road maps from the county surveyor to learn his getaway routes, and was thought to have been involved in 2 infamous gangland shootings which we've covered.
Right.
Both of these.
Right.
The St. Valentine's Day Massacre, which was in the Al Capone episode.
Chicago.
In Chicago. And we've been talking about the Kansas City Station Massacre for a few weeks now. Again, go look up both of those. If you're here for the bloodshed and the moitas of the Outlaws and Gunslingers podcast, then those 2 episodes are for you.
This guy had like an advantage anyway because he's driving from Canada to Chicago all the time, and he decides to rob banks. And he's like, "I've been driving so many different kind of roads, and now he got maps of all these banks." Oh, it's smart. I wonder who came up. Did he come up with the idea, or was it like a group thing?
For what?
To do these little bank robberies, or the mint robbery. And he robbed 20 banks, yeah. All from...
Well, in his career, he robbed 20 banks.
Not while he was delivering whiskey?
No, that was just like this is one he robbed, but he robbed 20 in his career, pretty much. I don't know. He's believed to have robbed the Denver Mint of $200,000, so that's not even proven.
Right.
If you notice, which we'll cover here, with a couple of these guys that are a lot of these... At the same, you got to remember these guys are running around at the same time that Bonnie and Clyde, Dillinger, Nelson, all these guys are running around. So a lot of these guys' crimes, especially the Eddie Bentz guy we'll have in a couple weeks, a lot of his stuff was attributed to those guys that were running around at the time. So he never got his just due.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
these guys, the guys before that we did, they were making the most noise.
Right, killing people.
Right.
That's what,
right.
Specifically agents.
We had another bank robbery over here. Was there any murders? No. We'll put that in the back shelf.
Right, we don't care about that. It's just money.
Right. It's just money.
It's just money.
It's fine. They'll do it again.
We'll find them eventually.
Eventually, but right now we got to focus on these guys. Murderous. And plus they got more money we can take. Well...
However, there was never any concrete evidence placing them at either scene.
Hey.
Bailey was also one of the last outlaws to join the Ma Barker gang, who we've also covered, the Carpus Barker gang, if you want to go look up that episode. And
it says the Ma Barker gang.
The Ma, and he threw cold water on the legend of the old gal as a criminal mastermind when he told author L.L. Edge for his book Run the Cat Roads. He told him this. The old woman couldn't plan breakfast. When we'd sit down to plan a bank job, she'd go in the other room and listen to Amos and Andy or hillbilly music on the radio. Billy found laughable the idea that the Barkers, Elvin Carpus, and Frank Nash and other professionals would depend on Ma Barker to plan their crimes.
Right.
She may have been overly indulgent, protective, and possessive of her sons and would harbor their friends from the law. In return, they treated her regally. Kept her in like you said in the actual episode, kept her in fancy clothes, cars, without her questioning the source.
This took care of it.
So, like I said in the episode, she didn't know what they were even doing.
She knew.
She
but
never,
not really.
She never questioned the source of their prosperity, according to Harvey.
But she knew.
However,
the
image of Ma Barker as a cunning, ruthless gang leader appears to be as exaggerated as the largely mythical exploits of Belle Starr, to whom she has also often been compared, which we will cover her too.
Right. That's
so exactly what I said in the Barker Carpus episode is she probably don't even know what the hell's going on.
She's the boss of the family, was they seen, everybody was like, "Mom."
Clearly not. She don't even know what's going on. Like, where am I getting these cars from?
I'm saying the boss of the family.
Of her sons. Yeah. That's it.
That's it. The family. Where everybody's, if you say something in front of Mom, she's coming belch you a good one.
You with her shoe or something.
Right. But no, not no criminal mastermind or Texas Chainsaw Massacre mother type deal.
Right.
I don't believe anything like that.
Right.
And if so, what are you going to do? No daddy around.
Clearly not, right?
1931. His gang robbed the Lincoln National Bank in Lincoln, Nebraska. They escaped with an estimated $1 million in cash. Following the heist, he is said to have hidden the loot on a farm near Richmond, Illinois, where he had been hiding out. Bailey supposedly never retrieved the stolen money, and to this very day, no one knows what happened to the $1 million. It would have been found by now.
Who knows? Money does deteriorate unless it's safe.
It's true.
Wrapped and preserved.
I doubt it.
Right. Well, it was tough to keep Bailey behind bars, as any gangster who we demonstrated that already. He was incarcerated in the Kansas State Prison on July 8th, 1932, and escaped on June 1st, 1933.
Nice.
During a breakout in which the warden and 2 guards were kidnapped and used as human shields. Among those included in this jailbreak included fellow outlaws Wilbur Underhill Jr., Jim Clark, Frank Sawyer, Ed Davis, and Robert Big Bob Brady.
Dang, Robert Big Bob Brady.
Robert Big Bob Brady. Many of these men later became members of the gang headed by himself and Underhill.
Why wouldn't you?
As they set off on a crime spree lasting a little over 6 months.
I mean, it's like all those guys owed him his life.
Pretty much, right?
Or his life, their life, right? They're like, dude, you're our boss now. Whatever you tell us to do, we're going to do over the next 6 months.
Well, I'm pretty sure in this one, Wilbur Underhill was actually the mastermind of that breakout.
Yeah, Underhill's smart mofo.
As we'll see in Underhill's episode.
I mean, if your name's Wilbur.
Right. I mean, you got to compensate for something, right?
Almost 2 weeks after their escape, June 16th, he and Underhill led a robbery of a bank in Black Rock, Arkansas. The very next day, Underhill and Bailey were among several fugitives wrongly named as participants in the Kansas City Massacre.
Wrongly, you hear that? He
Wrongly.
Never was there.
A failed attempt to free Frank Nash from police custody, that's what happened there, resulting in the deaths of Frankie Nash, which we just learned last week,
right.
and the 4 lawmen guarding him, which we also learned last week. The gang continued its activities and robbed $11,000 from a bank in Clinton, Oklahoma.
Oh, good for them.
Even though they're under suspicion
Of doing this massive
Right.
assassination of officers
They're like,
and stuff.
we didn't do that. They're telling everybody as they're walking to the bank. As soon as they get into the bank, give me your money. And walk out. I can't believe you guys.
You guys are
Gee.
noble people like
Right.
noble gentlemen like us.
Dude, come here and buy your alcohol. And
I like how all of our outlaw voices are always a Western, even though we haven't done a Western episode.
I
in
go to your saloons.
30 episodes.
I buy you alcohol, pay for your whores,
Right.
put some money in this town, and you accuse me of this.
Well, unfortunately for old Harvey, on August 12, 1933, police, while searching for Kelly for the kidnapping of Oklahoma oil tycoon Charles Urschel, they descended on the Paradise, Texas farm belonging to the family of Kelly's wife, where Bailey was sleeping.
Oh, no.
He visited there. He was like, I need a place to sleep.
Right.
Well, the lawman assumed Bailey was small fry, but found $500 of the Urschel ransom money and realized they had captured Old Harry,
Uh-oh.
who was known to the FBI. So they didn't even know that they were collecting so-called wanted guy from the Kansas City Massacre. But they found $500, which we discovered in the Barker Karpus
Right.
episode that money was marked.
Right.
So they knew.
I love how all these stories that we're doing, they all come together at some point. So great. Man, when you tell a good story.
Right.
He was sent to Dallas County Jail. September 4th, 1933. He escaped the escape-proof skyscraper jail by bribing a jailer, Thomas L. Mannion, to smuggle him a pistol and 2 saws.
Oh.
He's like, hey, can you give me a pistol and 2 saws?
Right.
Thomas is like, I don't know, man. He's like, I'll bring you with me. He's like, all right. Mannion and Bailey then took turns sawing through the bars.
Dang, so he had a jailer helping him saw through the bars.
That's pretty loud.
You would think so, What's that noise? Nothing.
I can't cough for this long. And we're like, dude, you've been coughing for like an hour straight, nonstop. What's going on here? Anyway, Mannion and Bailey took turns sawing through the bars, and soon an armed Bailey was on the loose, and he got a hostage, another jailer named Nick Tresp.
Well, Mannion and a civilian, Grover C. Bevel, who had furnished the hacksaws, were later convicted of aiding Bailey's escape and sentenced to 2 years and 14 months, respectively.
Why wouldn't you?
Bailey had his own version of the escape. See, he says he would claim in later years that Mannion brought him the gun and saws of his own accord, likely plotting to shoot Bailey during the jailbreak and claim a reward. There is some truth that backs this up, as Mannion wanted to run for sheriff.
Okay.
And when Bailey, he says that when he left with his hostages in a getaway car, he spotted Mannion and Bevel waiting in ambush, so he headed in the opposite direction. So Mannion said, no, he bribed me. But it was actually Mannion, according to Bailey, that came to him and was like, hey, man, I can get you this. I can get you this pistol and these 2 hacksaws. And then then wanting to turn it around on him to be the one that killed him.
But they could just killed him and then created their own little thing.
No, he's in jail already. Why would they kill him in jail? He wanted him to escape so he could be the one that captured him because he wanted to run for sheriff.
I guess. Because he ain't going to be able to say, hey, man, you gave me this.
Right.
Makes sense. Probably, man. Dirty cocksuckers.
I mean, I don't. Is cocksuckers as offensive as the F word? Or?
I think so.
I think it might be, right?
I think it is. We're going to have to, we're going to have to edit that out, guys. Sorry.
Well, we're not.
So he decided to go the other way, right?
Right.
And he got out.
It's got a little bit of merit to that. I don't know. I always find myself believing the lying, thieving, murdering bank robbers over.
But what's the difference with the cops? They're all the same.
They're lying, thieving, murderers.
Right. And most of the times it's true that
Right. Well, we've established how dirty the popos are already.
What do the criminals have to lose?
Right.
By telling the truth.
Right.
Nothing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I tend to believe him more, too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow. He robbed his last bank in Kingfisher, Oklahoma on 9th of September 1933 with the Bailey Underhill Gang, and soon after, he was recaptured for the 4th of September 1933 Dallas jailbreak. He was found guilty of complicity in the Urschel kidnapping and was sentenced to life in prison on the very day of October 7th, 1933. As it turned out, Old Harv.
Old Harry.
Old Harv. That's Harv.
Old Harv. I said Old Harry last
You
time.
did.
I did. Why did I say it? That does look like it. Doesn't even have look like a
It's
Y at all.
You think the bottom got cut off.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what
Why
the
did it
hell?
cut off?
Old Harv. Okay.
Old Harv.
I was wondering. It sounded weird that it was Old Harry. Why is it Old Harry? With a 1 R, too.
Right. Old Harry.
Old Harry. Old Harry.
Old Harry.
Old Harv. Okay, that makes
Old Harry.
sense.
It's like an oil or something.
Makes a lot more sense.
As it turned out, Old Harv had nothing to do with the Urschel kidnapping. He was in the wrong place at the very wrong time.
Yeah, well, I told you the cash that Bailey had, the cash Bailey had from the ransom money was actually a repayment of a debt from Kelly, which Bailey did not know its origin.
Right.
Nonetheless, it was a high-profile crime, and old J. Edgar Hoover wanted justice done, and he got it.
He's under a lot of pressure from Washington.
Although it was misplaced in Bailey's case and a lot more cases.
Right.
But Bailey was sentenced under the new federal kidnapping laws that had a mandatory sentence of life.
Oh.
While he was guilty of laundry list of crimes, he was innocent of this one, though.
Wow. So no kidnapping.
No kidnapping
He's like,
here.
you escaped that one, bud.
Just after the Lindbergh incident, yeah,
Right.
they were cracking down on the old kidnappings.
Maybe the judge is like, you know what? Most criminals like you, after they run out of crimes, they resort to stealing people.
Yeah, they ain't got nothing left. They stole everything but people.
Yeah, they nap them. I mean, no.
Kidnap.
Kidnap. Yeah, you didn't do that. Much obliged, sir. Bailey was originally sent to Leavenworth.
Of course he was.
Then he was transferred to Alcatraz on the 1st of September 1934. He was returned to Leavenworth in 1946, so he spent 12 years in Alcatraz, huh? After, when did it close down? It was later on.
60s.
Yeah, when people drowned. He returned to Leavenworth in 1946 and transferred in 1960 to Seagoville Federal Correctional Institution in Texas. Seagoville. That's a weird name. Seagoville.
Seagoville?
I bet it's like a little tiny, little stupid town. The only thing keeping it going is the prison.
It's a federal correction institution, so.
Where he remained until 1962, so he went there for 2 years. And then he was sent to Kansas State Penitentiary to serve time for escape when he was there in 1933. I mean, I guess it's cool.
They sent him all over the
Right.
They sent him all over the country. You're going to serve time for this.
Right. Well, that's cool. You don't have to waste your life away in the same cell for 80 years. He's get to travel the country.
Well, because the Kansas State Penitentiary obviously wasn't a federal crime, so he couldn't be in a federal prison. He had to go to the state prison.
So he got to
Where
travel.
Leavenworth and Seagoville is federal.
It's nice. Good for him, man. Got to see the outside world for a couple days between prison visits. I like it.
And permanently.
Yeah. Once Harvey was released. Oh, that's you.
Well, he was released in March 31st, 1965, where he permanently saw the light of day. Well, once he was released, E.E. Kirkpatrick, who had delivered the Urschel ransom money, and Herschel himself tried to make things right by providing financial support for Bailey. So even Herschel's like, dude, this guy wasn't even involved in this. I got, and now he's wrongfully convicted for it. In fact, while he was still in prison, Kirkpatrick had tried to help Bailey with his unsuccessful parole request in 1958, writing as follows. Bailey had nothing to do with the Urschel kidnapping. We all know that. He was unlucky enough to be hiding at the Shannon farm, he says. Yeah,
I mean, he might have got charged with the wrong crime, but karma came back and bit him in the booty.
I don't think any of his crime he did warranted a life sentence that the...
That's true.
Got him.
Well, he did get transferred to different prisons for other criminal offenses, right?
Did he not serve his life sentence?
See, we got a little whole gap here. No, life sentence. He didn't get a life sentence because he didn't get charged with kidnapping.
No, Bailey was sentenced under the new federal kidnapping laws at a mandatory sentence of life. While he was guilty of the laundry list of crimes, he was innocent of the kidnapping charges.
Oh,
but they
right,
still
right.
sentenced him to
Yeah,
that.
sentenced to life, yeah.
But he was originally sent to Leavenworth in 1934.
Well, he did 30 years, and he probably got...
I mean, life sentence is only 25, right?
Hey, he did 30.
60. He did 25 years.
Yeah, he did 25 years.
He did 25 years, and then where he was sent to the other one, actually did more than 25 in federal until 62.
Yeah, he did 31 years.
Yeah. I guess that would be a life sentence then, right?
Wow.
I don't know if they had the 25 as life, right?
Whatever
the life sentence is.
Yeah, I would say. Look at this guy.
Good for him.
Look at this guy.
Survived it.
October 1966, after a year-long courtship, Bailey married Esther Farmer, the widow of Herbert Allen Duffy Farmer, whose family operated a well-known safe house in southwest Missouri. For all the outlaw gangs that roamed the Midwest, whose family operated a well-known safe house in southwest Missouri for all the outlaw gangs that roamed the Midwest during the 20s and 30s. So this guy was like, you come here, you're safe, bud.
Right. You're safe in my house.
Right. We'll take care of you in this house. You'll be safe.
You'll be safe.
What, is this like a safe house? No, don't you ever say that.
Here in southwest Missouri.
Yeah, here in safe West Missouri. Duffy Farmer was also one of Kansas City Massacre conspirators.
Oh, jeez.
Really? And close confidant of the Barker gang.
Confidant.
Right, confidant.
You're my friend and my confidant. Thank you for being my friend.
Right, and his best bud was particularly Fred Barker.
Right.
He's like, listen here, guy.
Makes sense.
We can do some things.
We can do some things here, particularly a massacre.
Particularly.
Well, 1973, author J. Evetts Haley wrote a biography of Haley titled, well, damn, Haley on Haley, huh? That's just what it should have been. Right. Haley on Haley. Yeah. But instead it was titled Robin Banks Was My Business, The Story of J. Harvey Bailey.
Nice.
Bailey was interviewed extensively and provided a wealth of information, even though his memory was spotty in places. I mean, it makes sense. He's like 80 right here or something, right?
At least.
The book is rare, with autographed copies in fine condition going for in excess of $1,000. In fact, only 7 libraries in the country have a copy for circulation. Wow. Well, Bailey died on March 1st, 1979 in Joplin, Missouri, and his wife passed away in 1981.
Wow.
Both are buried in the same grave at Forest Park Cemetery in Joplin.
Long lives. So we get a couple criminals with long lives.
So he was born
1887, you said it was?
1887. He died in 79, so he was almost 100 years old, dude.
92.
92. Hey, that's a hell of a life.
And he served
He did
30-some years in prison.
from 60 to 79, so he lived damn near 20 years, which is a whole nother life, pretty much.
Right.
Who knows what he did in those 20 years?
Right.
At this time, he's already 60, 70 years old when he gets out of prison. Jeez, dude. Can you imagine that? This dude had a whole life in the 20s to 30s, just
wasted.
A whole lifetime of stuff that nobody will ever witness in their whole lives.
Right.
In a 15-year span or 13-year span, whatever it was. And then spends another 30, 40 years in prison.
Right.
And then spends another 20 whatever years out of prison before he dies. That is just... That's 3 different lives right there.
Right.
4 if you want to include his childhood.
Right. Isn't that nuts?
That is some crazy stuff.
That boy's seen some things.
Yes, sir.
And some knowledge behind those forehead.
Well, it's in the ground now, but...
Right.
That was all about Harvey Bailey. Tune in next week for the kind of companion episode about Wilbur Underhill, where we'll have actually a little bit more into the escapades of the...
Yeah, it seems like Wilbur was more of the outgoing guy of the group.
Well, Wilbur was definitely the...
more known.
More badass one of the group,
right.
Put it that way.
Harvey was a mastermind.
We'll have a little bit more of the Bailey Underhill gang excerpts, as well as Wilbur's life. He did a little bit more than Bailey. So that'll be next week. Then Eddie Bentz, who's also interesting, will be the week after that. And then it's anybody's guess what's going to happen after that. Who knows? Rocco Perry.
No. Rocco Perry.
If you guys like...
Bill Hill.
Bill Hill.
Yep, Bill Hill.
If you guys like random talking crap back and forth, kind of like we did in this episode, go check out The Bang and Dang Show, wherever you get your podcast, where we literally talk about everything and everything. Sports, politics, movies, music, news, anything in between there, anything and everything. And then if you guys are wrestling fans, go check out the Monday Night War Chalong. Where we went back from the very first episode of Nitro.
Good for.
And we watched both main events of Raw and Nitro. And we've so far 104 weeks in. We're approaching mid-97. We're right around the corner. Actually, our next episode we're going to record is Kane's debut at Bad Blood in 97.
That's gotta be Kane!
And we're right around the corner from the Montreal Screwjob, Sting and Hogan at Starrcade, and the greatest year in wrestling.
Bret Hart coming to WCW? What?
Right, got a lot of stuff on the horizon there. And if you guys are interested in stupid crime stuff, we do a scripted / improvised series of two private investigators named Lee Danker and Corey Sponnett, where investigate crazy, wacky private eye cases, and that's good stuff. Lee and Corey on the case over there if you're into comedy and you want to gut-busting stuff. That's all the stuff we do. You can follow this show on Twitter at OGMM Podcast. You get all the updates, everything. That's where you keep up with us on social media over there. And for now, we'll be back next week for Wilbur Underhill Jr.
Wilbur Underhill Jr.
With Mouth Michiganders with
Bang Dang.